What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got some interesting news right now regarding Fake Paul and Mike Tyson. The fight's on, and initially, or taking it from what I've seen, this for me is really Jake Paul's first real fight. Yeah, Mike, I know he hasn't had. I've got a video coming soon. Mike Tyson on the pads. He looks good, man. He looks as quick as most dudes in real boxing. He's quicker than Chisora, that's for sure. Obviously, he's a lot older. But what gives this weight for me is that we saw Mike in there with Roy Jones, yeah? And Mike looked good. And I said then, I wouldn't mind seeing Mike in there with a real heavyweight, you've been known. So Jake Paul has been calling out Canelo. I've critiqued him for this, because Canelo's a real boxer and Canelo can bang. Mike, he's older, but he's heavier. And he's got that similar... Roy Jones came out of the ring and said, damn. And you could see it on Roy Jones. Roy Jones is a real guy. Yeah, he's older, but still. Mike was only digging to his body. And Roy Jones said, every punch I felt that. It hurt. And I think Mike Tyson will be the first man. Tommy Fury can't fight. Mike Tyson will be the first man to hit Jake Paul like a real boxer would. Yes, he's older, but watch him on the pads. You can't fake that. Is he as good as he was when he was 19? No. But I believe he's got enough about him. Mike's never really been knocked spark out. He hasn't been beat up. He didn't stay around too long, did he? Holyfield stayed around a bit too long. Roy Jones stayed around a bit too long. Mike was out pretty early. And the last 10 years of his career, he was fighting every now and then. So, is it ideal Mike's 57? No. But Jake Paul ain't all that. Jake Paul was scared to death of Nate Diaz. Jake Paul couldn't knock out Nate Diaz. He's gone in there with a bunch of bums who were there to lose and knocked them out, but Mike ain't going to turn up and get knocked out, I don't believe. I just don't believe it. Mike's got too much respect for the game to come in there and just get knocked out. If Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson, I'll give him credit. Jake Paul, all due respect, couldn't knock out Anderson Silva, who well and truly stayed on too long, right? Silva was never a boxer. Silva was never a legitimate heavyweight. Silva was spent. Mike was never spent in his career. He never had his chin completely destroyed like Silva did, like Chuck Liddell did, like ABCD did. I think Mike's a better challenge. I think this is Jake Paul's toughest challenge, from what I see. But yeah, let's read this article. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson rules revealed and fans won't like them. And this is my worry. When I heard the news, I said, it better be a real fight. I don't want to hear it's an exhibition. I don't want to hear nothing else. I want Mike to go in there with bad intentions. Really, the fight should be 6 or 8 rounds. It's probably 6 rounds. Because I think Mike can give it a good 6, even at his age. I think he had 8 with Roy Jones, but this will be more intense. Because Jake Paul, he ain't got no shame in that sense. Jake Paul ain't going to be politicking in there. Jake Paul, if he can, will knock Mike Tyson's ass out. 6 rounds seems fair to me. I wouldn't even mind 4 rounds. But 6 is kind of in the middle. 8 isn't the end of the world, but 6. And if I was Mike, no one's going to kind of lose respect for Mike. If Mike goes in there, if I was training Mike, I'd say, listen, we got 8 rounds. Let's forget about 8 rounds. Yeah, I don't believe this new age dude. Jake Paul didn't want to exchange with Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury, he's got nothing. Tommy Fury can't punch at the best of times, yeah? Jake did not want to exchange. Jake did not want to exchange with Woodley. He spent both fights politicking, and then Woodley walked onto a big shot. He did not want to fight Nate Diaz. This guy does not want to fight, and hence, I'd go, Mike Tyson's £230, a genuine heavyweight, old or not. This ain't no Anderson Silva, who was a career, what was Silva? Silva was a career 185er, I believe. Mike Tyson's been £215 since he was 13 years old. This is a real big dude, and an older dude. But Silva was older. Silva was 50. And Silva ain't heavyweight, and Silva ain't Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson looks dangerous on the pads and on the back. And, it's only bag work. Well, we've seen him look dangerous in the Roy Jones fight too. And yeah, that was a few years ago. I don't know. I'm feeling positive. But yeah, if I was training Mike, I'd give it 4 rounds. And go in there and give him hell for 4 rounds and then retire and say, I'm too old, kind of thing. I wouldn't blame him for that. Yeah? I don't need to see Mike knock spark out. I don't even think Jake Paul can do it. You know what? I'll tell you what Mike should do. Go in there, give it 4 rounds, yeah, and then Do what Canelo does. Good boxers know how to not get knocked out, especially by fake pull. So, Mike, go in there, yeah, be totally ferocious for 3 or 4 rounds, and then just do what Canelo did against Bivol. Guard up, back up to the ropes, ride some shots, and then wing a few big ones to keep him thinking, kind of thing. And you never know, even on that strategy, if you wing a few of them Mike Tyson left hooks, Jake Paul ain't going to do nothing. Jake Paul couldn't do nothing with Nate. Nate was a standing heavy bag. Fake Paul couldn't put it on him. So Mike, go in there, tear his ass up for 4 rounds, and then you would have won the first 4 rounds for sure, and then have a rest for 2 rounds covering up, and then do round 7 hard, and then cover up for round 8, and you've won the fight. You've won the fight, and you haven't got been knocked out, and Jake Paul would have been punched up, for sure. And after the first 4 rounds, Fake Paul will be so shook. Fake Paul was shook over Tommy, over Nate. It don't matter who he fight, he's shook. He'll be so shook if he's not already knocked out in the first 4. Or if he doesn't already quit in the first 4, he ain't going to do nothing anyway. Jake Paul will be grateful to survive if Mike comes out for 3 or 4 rounds of proper devastation. Or do 1 round on, 1 round off. Go in there totally ferocious in round 1, get him scared, have a little bit of rest, give him some feints to think about. You know what I mean? It's a strategic approach. But I want Jake Paul, Fake Paul, to feel some real power. And Mike Tyson's 57, but I do believe no one, not Woodley, no one will have been able to hit Jake Paul as hard as Mike Tyson would be, even at 57. And you can just watch his pad work. Mike Tyson's pad work at 57 is legitimately as sharp as anyone in boxing today. You show me a heavyweight boxer today who you see on the back and their hands are moving like that. I haven't seen it. I just haven't. That's just what it is. Anyway, here's the rules. The fight rules for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul have been revealed, and they won't go down well with fight fans. Iron Mike will return at 57 to fight Fake Paul at 27, blah, 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 blah. Where's the rules then? These guys are waffling on. Where's the rules? Here we go. Heavyweight boxer Derek Chisora reckons he's got an inside track and he isn't impressed. Branding the rules as an effing joke. He told Radio Raheem, I know for a fact they are using 18-ounce gloves and headguards. If I'm not mistaken, I think so. So we're watching a sparring match. It's an effing joke. You think I'm watching to pay that? Yeah, this is the point I'm making. Fake Paul knows. Fake Paul knows the only chance he has is to put Mike in big ass gloves and a big ass headgear. That's the truth. And at that point, once you've got massive gloves on and a headguard, yeah, that takes out all the snap. Although we've seen Mike knock dudes out in 18-ounce gloves, right? So it's not the end of the world, but still, it takes out all the snap. And what it does do, it disadvantages the older fighter. Why? Because it becomes more than about endurance. All the snaps, or a lot of the snap is taken out. And you also have, anyone who's boxed knows, when you have them little 10-ounce gloves on, your hands move faster, your shoulders get less tired. Then big gloves, you get tired quick. Although Fake Paul ain't got much of a gas tank himself. But again, it's only going to disadvantage Mike. We know Mike, even in his prime, even Mike at 19, he really only had about 4 rounds in him. If you watch any of his longer fights, watch Mike versus Mitch Blood Green. Mike was ferocious for about 5 rounds, and then in the last 7 he was just big shot, fall in and clinch. Big shot, fall in and clinch. So this ain't going to benefit Mike. And the headguard, just do a proper fight or don't bother. The exhibition part's just a bit whack. I wonder who called for that. That's what I'm intrigued to know. Maybe it was Mike. Maybe Mike's kind of doesn't want to get... I don't know. I just can't believe it. Maybe Mike believes he can get it done in gloves and headguard. But it just turns it off for me. I hope it's a real fight. That's what I hope. Not an exhibition. Because once we know it's an exhibition, it's like, well, what else are they... Whatever rules are there. Is someone expected to jump on the floor? Some people have said Mike has sold out. We just don't know, do we? I'd rather Mike do a proper fight or not do a proper fight. Let me see the Roy Jones versus Mike fight. That might have been in headguard though, to be fair. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. That was 2020, so it was what, 3.5 years ago. No, look. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones was no headguard and them gloves don't look like 16 ounces to me. They look about 10s, maybe 12s. So there you go then. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones did not have headguard. Why is fake Paul having headguard for? I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it, people. I'm honest. I don't want to see it now. You've killed it for me. I don't want to see it. If anything, I want to see Mike in 4-ounce gloves. That's what it should be. Let's go down. We're going to do Mike Tyson versus fake Paul, 4-ounce gloves. I want to see Mike hit something in 4-ounce gloves. Listen, if Jake Paul can get it done, fair play to him. I genuinely believe Mike Tyson knock his ass out in 10-ounce gloves. Or make him quit. That's what I believe. Because whatever you say about Mike, he's at least a real boxer. In that sense. He's had a real fight before. He's lost a real fight. He's had a real fight. Fake Paul has never had a real fight. Tommy is not a real fighter. Fake Paul's best fight was Tommy. He lost. I think he had a draw, but whatever, he lost. And Tommy wasn't a real fighter either. Tommy didn't come to fight. Tommy came to politic. Yeah? Fake Paul has never actually come to fight. First Tyron Woodley fight, which I give him credit for. That's a big step up for him. Still, he didn't want to fight. He was backpedaling. And if you're backpedaling against Nate Diaz and politicking with Nate, Mike going to be on the arse. Your only hope is that he runs out of gas, which he probably will do. Again, Mike ran out of gas in his prime. Never mind 30 odd years later. So, I'm hoping, listen, this is speculation. Chisora is speculating. I'm hoping the speculation is incorrect. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Should it be happening? A lot of people are worried for Mike. I don't know why I'm not worried. I think it's probably this fight here. Obviously, we know with age is almost exponential deterioration. So Mike may have looked good 3.5 years ago, 3.5 years later. For example, 24 to 27.5 isn't the same as 54 to 57.5. Yeah? 35 to 38.5 isn't the same. We're talking in the latter years here. This is where degradation takes place at a high rate. So he may have looked good 3.5 years ago. We don't know how we're looking now. There's rumours he's been in a wheelchair. I don't know. You watch the pad work. The pad work I saw, I didn't see no wheelchair about it. That's the truth. And really, Roy Jones is a similar size to Mike Tyson. Sorry, a similar size to Jake Paul. In as much as Roy Jones is like a 190 pounder. Tops. He fought at 160, but he was boiled down and younger. Fake Paul's a 190 pounder. Mike Tyson's a legitimate 220 pounder. So that weight's going to help him. And Roy Jones didn't like the power from Mike. Yes, he's older too, but he knows what Roy Jones knows how to take a real shot. He knows what a real boxing shot feels like. He didn't like what he felt from Mike. That was evident. And he was politicking in there. So I don't believe Jake Paul. I think the first shot that lands, Jake Paul's going to be like, oh my god, this is actually what boxing's about, which is what I want for him. Canelo would hit Jake Paul and make him, his whole universe would change in respect to this game. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Should it happen? Shouldn't it happen? Who are you scared for? Well, no one's scared for Jake Paul, right? But some people are saying, oh, you're undermining it. He's going to knock a great. I don't want to see Mike Tyson knocked out. I don't think you're going to get knocked out. But we know my Beckham. Listen, if I was to bet, I'd bet on Mike. But that's not a good sign, is it? That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. If I'm going to bet on Mike, Jake Paul going to score round 2, spark OKO. So, but no, I still can't lie to myself. I can't see, in 10-ounce gloves, I can't see what fake Paul going to do. Mike Tyson's got too much pride. Although he has been videoed in a dress, dancing around like a bumblebee. So, is he, I mean, you just don't know. If Mike, listen, Mike Tyson, Bumblebee. Watch this.
Oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I'm feeling beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So, my point of showing you that video is, listen, if I told you 30 years ago that Mike Tyson would be in a bumblebee suit and he'll be dancing around saying how he looks beautiful, you'd have called me a liar, right? And I'd have called you a liar as well, but here we are. Has Mike Tyson sold out to the powers that be? And hence, is he about to get knocked spark out for fake Paul and the Cabal agenda? We don't know. Yeah? I hope not. But that has to be in the question, right? I just can't imagine it. Imagine being Mike Tyson, yeah? Like, even me. I'm a nobody, right? I ain't done nothing. But imagine being somebody and then, yeah, Mike, put this Bumblebee suit on and dance around the place. I just can't imagine where. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not interested in doing that. Even with kids, it's like, let's play this game with some kids. No, I'm not interested in playing no games with no children. I'm not interested whatsoever. There's not one bit of interest. So why? I'm a grown-ass man. Put this suit on and dance around for a video. No, I'm just not. There's no interest for me doing that. Yeah? It's not. I don't think it's funny. It's not cute. I'm just not interested. You do it though, 100%. The person who asked me to put a Bumblebee suit on and dance around, I say, listen, each to their own. I've got no interest in doing that. You can do it though. Zesty dude. Zesty Cabal dude. If you want to put the suit on and dance around, that's your right to do that. I ain't interested. Mike didn't have that conversation. Mike didn't tell dude, hey yo, I ain't interested in that. I ain't wearing no Zesty Bumblebee suit. That's what I'm not doing. You're welcome to put on whatever suit you want and make whatever video you want. So you just don't know, do you? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and click off the bell 100%. No doubt.